Hi Konkana, hi Alankrita, welcome to the Quint.
Hi,
Thank
hi. Thanks for having
you.
us.
Okay, let's start with a big congratulations that Alankrita, finally your baby is out and this time without any hitches and glitches
Yeah,
like
that's
last time,
true.
you know.
Yeah. No, I think it's very exciting that Dolly Kitty is out on Netflix and really without having to go through that whole process of waiting outside
I
the
know.
censor board screening and all of that. So it's lovely to just have a peaceful release in that sense.
Alankrita, my first question goes to you. If this film was made for the web and not for a theatre release, do you think you would have invested more time in building the characters? How different would have been your approach if you knew it would go directly to OTT?
I think it would have been the same film, honestly, because it's a feature. It's a feature-length film, and this is what the film is. And I don't think, for me personally, and I know it's different for other people, whether if it's a feature film, whether it's being made for a streaming service or it's going to come out theatrically. For me, I think there's no difference. The difference comes when you're doing a series, which is long format, and that's very different. And instead of 2 hours, you're dealing with maybe 6 hours or 8 hours or 9 hours in that universe. So I think as a film, this is what the film is, and I don't know, but even if it had, been made originally for a streaming service, it would still be the same film.
Okay, okay. Konkona, when you were told about your character, did you ever worry as an actor that while playing a character in a traditional Bollywood term people consider as empowered women, you might be normalizing cheating in a relationship?
You know, I don't really, you know, I feel that if we always had to play characters who are morally irreproachable, then it would not really make for very interesting art. It would not make for very interesting content, and we would only see very sanitized versions of ourselves on screen, which would not necessarily be truthful. And I think that one of the purpose for all kinds of art form, whether it's books or plays or films or whatever, is to kind of tell the truth about what it is to live. And I think that this is what we're doing also with this film, is that this is the truth of the lives of these women, what it is to live these lives of these two women in particular. We do have films about where men are violent, and it is true that sometimes that is to a certain extent normalized, but I think that happens if unthinkingly that is done across the board, film after film, without realizing, and it's done to kind of make it glamorous or to make it appealing in some way. I don't usually like to think of my characters as being, people who are beyond any kind of wrongdoing. It's more interesting to understand why they are behaving in the ways that they are behaving. Not that they can never, do anything that is even remotely not considered morally upright. In fact, for a lot of my career, I have only played very morally upright women or very strong women. And other than being slightly boring, I think it's also not truthful. It's nice to be able to play complex individuals and try to understand where people are come from, especially, the lives of women.
About Alankita, about your films, do you feel that because you're so focused in building your female characters, sometimes the male characters in your narrative get lost? I'm talking about Karan Kundra's character here.
I don't agree with you because the way I write a film, for instance, in this case, particularly Dolly Kitty, it's very clear that the lens through which the story is unraveling. Whatever we are seeing, we're only seeing either through the eyes of Dolly or through the eyes of Kitty. So, all the other characters, be they male or female, will appear in the film as they appear in the lives of Dolly or in the lives of Kitty. So, the amount that whatever Kitty sees of DJ Gujjar, for instance, the DJ Teja, whatever she sees of him, we'll only see glimpses of that. We're not going into his life.
Okay, I
I
get
don't
it
think
now.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think his character is underdeveloped, because though he has few scenes, you can see the dichotomy of his existence. He's actually a more tender person and a more compassionate person. You already see that even in that one scene where he has to deal with his brother, and yet he tries to save, Usman, and the fact that he's
Usman.
still in love with Shazia. So I feel like, his own dynamic sort of going on.
Okay, so this question is for both of you. You know, a popular criticism about films that show women in strong role is that they often depict the ladies drinking and smoking to show that they are empowered or have their own agency, to the point that it's almost become a cliche now. How do you react to this point of view?
I agree with what you're saying, and that does happen. And it's actually, I think, probably a shortcut or, a lazy writing where you just want to show where somebody's empowered and you show them drinking and smoking. And that's really a very superficial way of doing things. But I don't feel that's the case in this film so much.
Yeah, I just want to add that it's so strange that it's 2000 and whatever, it's 2020, and we are still being asked this question as to why are we showing women drinking and smoking. Has anyone ever questioned any male character for being shown smoking or drinking? Never. So there is something about how we want to look at women. It still, as a society, makes us uncomfortable. And I'm not saying that smoking is something anybody should aspire to. It's terrible for the lungs, and it's really not something anybody should do. It's really bad for one's health. But the point is, we are so scared of women transgressing that it still feels like such a problem to see them. Like the fact that we even have to think about it. Why am I seeing so many women drinking and smoking? Well, the very fact that we have this question means we need to see women doing all kinds of
No,
things. And yeah.
that was not my question. Why are they drinking? What I'm saying is, when we are showing an empowerment thing, that's when we show the transition of them starting drinking and smoking. If they would have been doing it from beginning, then it would be normalizing, right?
Yeah, that
Dolly
I
is
agree
doing it
with.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Dolly from the beginning is drinking. She enjoys a drink once
I'm
in
not
a while.
criticizing your film. I'm talking in general.
Yeah, of course.
Let me divert from Dolly and Kitty. Real life may consider a witch hunt that is happening with Riya Chakravarti. Do you think if gender were reversed in this case, a man was accused or a suspect, things would have been different?
I think that anybody who is being accused of something should be treated with a certain amount of dignity, which is not being extended to Ria. There's been no proof so far. There have only been allegations and accusations, which have been there even for members of parliament, for example. Certain politicians also have these allegations and accusations. And it is true, I think, that when we have seen certain male Bollywood counterparts who have been accused of very big crimes, they have been treated with a certain amount of respect and dignity, which has not been afforded to Ria, which is very unfortunate. And in fact, for Salman Khan or Sanjay Dutt, when there have been very serious accusations, this has not been the case. All citizens in India are innocent till proven guilty, and until such time that there is a proper investigation conducted and there is proof, that she should be afforded that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for talking to us.